Hey, everybody, I'm Russell Hill. I'm the host of WTF, and that is What the FixedOPS podcast that you're listening to today. And I'm joined by...
I'm Charity, co-host here today, and we're excited. We have David Rozek. He is the marketing director at Bill Walsh Automotive Group. David, welcome to the show. And my first question for you will be, how are you bridging the gap between traditional and modern technologies in the dealership?
Oh boy, so that's a big one.
Oh, yes, it is.
I just had a conference and I was a panelist at the CATA here in Chicago. And we talked about a lot of these topics with AI. We talked about first, what is the purpose of AI? And a lot of people don't realize that the purpose of AI is really to create human-to-human connection. And, that's its main purpose, right? The biggest part about bridging that gap, though, is that if you have the right culture, because we always need to kind of look at the 3 Ps, and we kind of need to look at people, process, and product, right? And not necessarily in that order, but I think the most important thing is people, because realistically with AI, does it fit with your tech stack? Do you have the right vendor partner? But then at the same time, do we have the right security and governance protocols set up for it? And what is it really fixing? How does it do it? What is it doing it? Why in it? Why? And then how can you match it to your location?
Sure.
Many people just don't get that. They think you can throw an AI at something. And really, I will tell you, please don't. In most things, if you're going to experience, or let's say experiment with an AI, and there's so many different types, to the point to where when somebody says AI, I kind of sometimes want to throw up, because realistically, and everything we touch is an AI, okay? We just have to air that out there. Every company, every vendor has an AI component. It's a version of a software, right? It's a tool. But what people don't sometimes get with an AI, and we're trying to add these products in, you really need to kind of maybe baby step. I would recommend doing it with service. Now, service is, of course, one of the most important things to me in the marketing world, and I know it's really important to Russell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, though, service is a little bit less complex if you have something like an XRM or a MyKarma or an XTime, because when you connect an AI to it, it's looking at our schedule, our catalog, and our capacity. And it's only as good, though, as if those things are set up. So it's garbage in, garbage out. So your AI could be a push-to-talk feature like I have. It could be a chat widget. It could be your phone system answering the call. But I still need a human touch. You have to have a hybrid approach, really, when it comes to an AI. My thing is, let AI handle the mundane tasks and let people handle the things that people need. Because
that's right.
An AI can't, an AI can drive your car, right? But an AI can't swerve to miss that pothole. An AI doesn't always understand that traffic's backed up. So an AI might get you where you're going, but not necessarily in the right direction. Have all of us used Siri directions and Google directions? Well, I know the answer that we all have, and it's not perfect. AI is the same thing. It's not perfect, right? So you have to always have human governance to it. We have to inspect it. So many people go, oh, I'm going to put this product on, and my AI is just going to get the job done. Well, no, it's not, because you haven't inspected what you expected. You have to listen to those calls. You have to see how it takes care of your customer. There is so much that AI can do for us, and it's got so much potential, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. But you still need that hybrid approach, at least right now, okay? Many years ago, it's like, hey, here's a computer, right? Well, computers blew up, and then it was, well, you have to have software to work the computer, and you have to know where to visit on a computer and how to use it and be taught. And AI has all the information in the world, but it doesn't know how to use it like we do. So please don't think that an AI is going to take your job, okay? What it should be doing is making your job less complicated,
yes,
easier, and make you more efficient. And really, it's taking your human capital, your human superpowers, and it's giving you those superpowers. But you have to know that with an AI is an equally bad thing when it comes to a kryptonite, because AI isn't going to fix your culture. It isn't going to fix your process. It may streamline some things, right? But those same problems are going to be there. But the kryptonite could be on the security side. It's what are we paying attention to there too? Because AI opens up the door to things we never thought about. So, Russell, what you had to say on that now? I know you have a lot of opinions.
Well, I do. So I remember, you're familiar with the human side of AI, right?
Of course.
Of course you are. And all the other ones too. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to know you. I don't know, 15, 20 years, something like that.
Yeah. Something like that in my Napleton days.
Yeah. And you have really, and so this is, I love this. And we got some really phenomenal questions. And one of them is that, or a comment I'd like to make to what you just referenced, that it's a supplement to allow humans to do the things they do. Now, I remember listening to April Simmons in early on last year. Dealerships were signing up left and right for anybody coming in talking about AI. But all it did is make everybody's job harder. And as fast as they signed up for them, is about as fast as they were canceling them, because
they still are.
Yeah. It was either being misrepresented or all it did, it doesn't communicate with the other whatever they're using. It doesn't communicate with all the other software they have. The data was siloed. It created more tasks for them than it was a help. And of course, that's still going on today. And when I was listening to you a couple of weeks ago, or whenever it was in club, so I do believe, not necessarily jobs will be lost, but I believe that equally jobs will be replaced. But I think for the most part, it's going to be a supplement or a part of their job description for robotics and AI to handle the mundane stuff that you're talking about, while allowing the human to be human and focus on the relationship, which the AI can't do yet.
Right. And everybody has to level up. Yeah. We always have to.
They're scared, David. They're scared.
You can't be scared. You got to take the bull by the horns. 70% of people want an AI. But here's the thing. We were told that all these dealers want to talk to us and they want to talk about AI and they want to have someone that they can go to. So we throw a meeting. And we're going to continue to do these meetings with the CATA and a bunch of other people and the human side of AI and yourself and everybody. And we're going to keep talking about this every week until we drive it home. Because that's what we do as leaders, right?
Right.
But the difference is that they also have to get off their ass and want to do it. A lot of people like to complain about the problem, but they don't like to fix the problem. They just want to talk about it. And we're realizing that 50% of the people talking about it aren't doing anything about it. They're just talking. So, we got parking lot issues and not real issues. Many years ago, I had a salesperson and I called him Sunshine. He would come up with all these parking lot issues and complain to the whole sales group, get them all negative and emotional, and their attitude be going sideways, right? And I'd smile and I'd walk the other way and I'd go meet a customer and sell a car. And everybody's like, man, why are you leading everybody? I said, because all you guys are manipulated and going negative by all the smoke screens. Yeah. I said, the whole basis of a Foursquare and digital retailing is to really find out what a customer's needs are, right? It's about that emotional trigger, what we can do. Well, AI removes a lot of that emotion, okay? And, I remember 15 years ago or so, maybe even longer, digital retail is going to take our job. They don't need managers anymore. It's going to sell all of our cars. Well, the only one that kind of got that right might have been Tesla, and that's because they didn't lead gate it. They let you Apple Pay, they let you pick a vehicle, and they make it easy. Well, as a dealership, we have OEM requirements. We have FTC rules. We have all kinds of things that's going on, right? So, somebody goes online, they figure out their payment, their trade-in value, a lead comes into the CRM, BDC or salesperson calling back and says, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this car. When would you like to take a test drive? And by the way, do you have a trade-in? And what payment range and how much money do you have to put down? And God damn it, as a customer, I don't want to repeat the same shit I just did with you online. Read your notes, look at your Car Now dashboard, your Gubagoo dashboard and figure it out. But all those notes are there, right? Yeah. So I look at GPT I created. I copied the notes with the exception of the customer's name and pasted into it. And it immediately gave me an email, a text, and a phone script to use with my customers based on the lead information. And I'm like, oh my
David,
God.
you better say that again so everybody can hear that. What that you posted it where?
So what I did is I went to a GPT that I created. I called it Ultimate BDC and Marketing. So if you look up my name on ChatGPT and you go in there and you type in, if you go under GPTs on the left side, hit Explore GPTs.
Right.
A search box will come up. You type in David and then Rozek, Rozek. And you'll see a list of probably 30 publicly facing ones that I've built. I've built over 500 just because,
because that's what you do, man. That's what you do.
Yeah, I like to break stuff. I like to break websites. I like to break software. I like to break phone systems. I like to break processes and see, I'm a sales manager, right? I'm a variable person. I want to know what in the deal, how is my customer going to react? Am I offending them? Am I doing the right thing? Am I taking care of them? But more or less, is my salesperson saying the right thing? So when I coach AI, is my AI saying the right thing when it's scheduling that service customer's appointment? And when my customer asks that AI, hey, when AI says, hey, is there anything else I can do for you after scheduling the appointment? Because that's the easy stuff. Causes no churn, works great with X time, right? Appointment's made. But what we didn't think about it, and I think Peter Smith brought this up, is asking the AI, what's the nearest coffee shop to the dealership while I'm waiting to get my car serviced? It's simple questions like that a human can answer and an AI never thought of, right? We never thought of programming that a customer would say, hey, is there a Denny's close by so I can get some breakfast? And, when you think about it, people want an AI as a personal assistant, a personal persona.
That's it.
And that's where we're going to, is that eventually everybody's going to have their shopping assistant. I mean, Copilot is a prime example in all this meta AI. And Gemini, they're made to be our AI assistant, right? Well, an AI assistant is only as good as the information we feed it.
That's right.
But if I can get an AI to be my assistant, to go shop for a car for me, okay, and connect to the dealers and get me a test drive, and I don't have to put up with the BDC or salesperson starting me over from ground one and saying, hey, would you like to come for a test? Oh, God damn it, I shot you a lead saying I wanted a test drive and I was coming in at 4 o'clock. And my payments at 4 o'clock, or my payments I wanted $400 a month, and I got $6,000 down. And KBB already told me my trade value, and I said, okay, what else is there to do? But humans, we don't read the notes because we're just dialing for tasks, right? Now that's bad training. We can't fix bad training. AI can't fix bad training. It can bring them farther down the funnel though, right? So what we have to train our people now is to how to manage the AI and the humans so that we're all on the same page. It's just like back in the day, Google said customers are coming to the website and we want to give them an experience. And then when they get there, we want to give them the same experience. Well, that isn't going to change with an AI. They still have to come in and buy a car from us. Now, I'm not saying in the next 5 years, an EV won't show up in my driveway and I won't e-sign for it. And I won't watch the video and do my own delivery and set up my own app to connect to everything on my car.
Sure.
Now that is probably going to happen at some point, right? But realistically, I don't know. I don't want that to happen. I want to go talk to a salesperson. I want to meet the service manager. I want to know who I'm spending my money on.
It's that relationship.
Yes, I need an experience. And even Google has said, you can make up all this AI bullshit SEO right now and all these duplicate pages and hire these vendors, and they'll make you 1,000 pages about that F-150. And they'll make you a cool video, and that's all great. But it's all duplicate content. It's not real experience. If I just turn my phone, like Paul Meyer says to a customer and says, share with me your experience of buying a car today. And a customer does that, and I could just video them, and I could say, hey, can you scan the QR code right here on my desk? And can you mind just recommending me and writing down, just tell the world what you just told me. Now that is the experiences that our customers want to see. And you know what makes it even more powerful? If a customer shares it on their Facebook, on their Instagram, on their TikTok, that is golden, right? Now, all these things you do and Charity does and everybody else, I mean, this is LinkedIn gold. But here's the thing. We give them all these nuggets to watch. It really comes down to doing it. Now, anybody can DM. Last night, a salesperson DM and he says, hey, he goes, I know I don't know you, but I was on LinkedIn and I really haven't gone through a lot of formal sales training. So I shot back to him. I said, how long you been there? He said 6 months. And I said, oh my God. Okay. Well, I didn't say that to him. I said, so what are you trying to do? He says, well, I'm just trying to learn some different steps in closing. And I said, well, let's shoot me some questions. So he shot me them and I kind of gave him, 10 different ways to overcome an objection. Right. And he's like, oh, thank you. And I said, when you can't reach out to me though, go on to ChatGPT, enter my name. So same thing. I said, and there's a training tool for salespeople that I made. I said, I built it for my son 3 years ago because, well, really I refined it 2 years ago. I had a couple strokes. And I said, man, what can I do for my son to understand the car business, who's the 5th generation of our line in the car business, to help him sell more vehicles? And I'm like, I'm going to build a GPT that helps him overcome any objection and helps him with his morals, teaches him integrity selling, so he understands everything that, and how to be a great concierge with a customer and give them a great experience. So I want to pass that on to him. So I built that. So I gave this to the salesperson. He's like, oh, thank you so much. This morning, I had 3 salespeople from his car dealership reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I'm like, man, the car business, I don't know what we're doing and not training people. And most of these people had been there 3 to 4 years. And I was like, wow, I'm not a sales trainer.
It's amazing. And if they're getting trained, they're not getting the right training. They're training on the product. Okay, you can have all the product information, knowledge. You could be a guru. But if you're not good at the human side, building relationships with somebody, you're not going to make it. Consequently, it's the opposite. If you're good at overcoming objections, and they're just normal deflective, same ones we hear over and over and over again, right? If you're good at the human side of building relationship and building value and overcoming objections, you don't have to know a damn thing about the vehicle and you'll be wildly successful. Do you agree with that?
Well, I agree that my whole way of selling cars, once I learned this and I got over the stigma of being in other salespeople's shadow and their negativity, I learned from a salesperson, and I learned a lot from Zig Ziglar and Jackie Cooper and Joe Verdi. And it was just to go and be a friend. Make a friend, Dave. Be a friend. So the first time I decided, okay, I'm going to go be a friend. So I started getting the dealership at 7:30 in the morning. And I was down in Bourbonnais and I didn't know anybody. I just moved there. I was a young salesman. I had a little bit of manager practice before, but I just came back home from the military. And I wanted to be left alone and said, I'm just going to sell cars. So I went down there and I just made friends in service every morning. I made friends with that service writer. I made friends with that cashier. I became the trusted resource in that town. And every salesman there was selling 8, 10, 12 cars maybe. Every month for me to churn out 30 to 40 units was amazing. Now, did I do some other things? Sure, I had my own Auto Trader pages in a magazine. I took internet leads when everybody told me, oh, those internet leads are garbage. Nobody wants to talk to those people. You just got to wait on people who walk on the lot. And I'm like, no. My phone skills are there. So I learned that for me to sell 40 cars a month was no big deal. So the next year and a half, everybody's going, well, he's got to be doing something right? I mean, with technology and social media, oh my God.
Let me tell you about a partner that's actually helping dealers get ahead, Global Dealer Solutions. If you've been wondering how to use AI the right way in your dealership, especially on the fixed side, these are the people to call. Their team gets it. Not just the tech, but the real challenges that dealerships face every day. We're talking about conversational AI that doesn't just respond, it converts. It books appointments, follows up with service leads, even answers customer questions with actual relevance. It's not replacing your team, it's making sure your team can focus on what matters most, closing ROs and building relationships. But GDS isn't just about AI. They train your staff, drive traffic, and tighten up processes so your results stick long after the tool is turned on. And everything they do is built around one goal, growth that is real. If you want more service traffic, better follow-up, and a partner that's always a step ahead, check them out. Visit gdsdealers.com, follow them on LinkedIn at GDS Dealers, Or just shoot them a message and ask, what would you do with my store? And see what they come back with. Global Dealer Solutions, process-driven, people first, always on it.
You have salespeople selling 70 cars a month. I mean, I was on a call last night on Clubhouse. Oh my God, I think her name's Kelly, or was it Chrissy or Kelly is one of them, but she was telling us how she sold 70 cars in 1 month. Now, I wasn't on the call that long, but I was like, oh my God, 70 cars. I mean, does that lady sleep? And she handles mainly secondary, but she's so into social media, which is a little off topic of our AI. But think about it now. When you go to Meta announced today that they got over 1 billion users, okay, using their AI. And for a variety of things.
Sure.
And a lot of it is search. I mean, look at ChatGPT. ChatGPT wasn't designed to be a search engine. It was just supposed to help you and build your knowledge sets.
No, but it's becoming that, isn't it?
Yeah,
look at Perplexity. Perplexity is amazing. And if you want to write something, go to Claude. Claude writes some beautiful articles. You know, I hate AI in a lot of ways, okay? Because I'm an artist. I'm a
Well, I can't tell. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I hate AI. But here's what my dad said, that whatever you don't like, do that first every day. And my grandfather was the same way. So, you know, the first thing I'm always going to do is I'm going to handle my dirty deeds of the day. Well, in today's market, my dirty deed every day is AI, okay? So I have to learn. And if I don't level up, how can I bring that to my dealership group? How can I go over our tech stack? How can I know? How can I worry about our security? I have to know who has the best security, who has the best CRM with the best AI, but also which part of it is enabling laziness and what isn't. You know, because there's some amazing CRMs right now that has some, you know, wrappers that have been put on it. Now, I'm not saying that their product's bad, right? But you take a legacy CRM, which is great, and you add a module onto it, which is a wrapper of like a ChatGPT wrapper, and you add that to it. And now you add this great knowledge set. But the key to the future is building that GPT, building that coding, building that AI. There won't be programmers in another year and a half in general, except for senior people, because I have a 15-year-old second cousin of mine. He just built a whole video game yesterday in 30 minutes. Okay. He built it in 30 minutes and all we did was give him a concept talking. Okay. The other night, I think it was Katie on a Clubhouse, was talking and she was bringing up this color chart and what your personality type was. So while we were on the Clubhouse, it took me 20 minutes to build a GPT that explained a car person's behavior with an AI color chart and how to speak to the other color charts. So kind of like a DISC training and a 16 personalities. Okay. But I literally just took the knowledge-based framework and a conversation that I had on Clubhouse. I built a GPT software and lo and behold, I had a dozen people go, oh my God, that's spot on. It knows me. And I said, well, it knows what you know and what questions you ask it. Okay. And how well you believe in it. I said, but here's the thing. Everybody needs something to believe in. The first person you got to believe in is in yourself.
Thank you.
You need to be self-centric. Then you need to be, you know, employee-centric. And then we need to look at, you know, community-centric and then customer-centric. And then I like to call the other one vendor-centric and OEM-centric. And I know I'm missing one in there, but that's okay. I didn't want to teach a class on centrics. But the realistic thing is, how does AI fit in each one of those pillars? Okay, so, you know, if you look up GPTs, I built a tech stack GPT to help you with your tech stack. I built a go-to-marketing one. I built a service writer mastery course. I built a salesman course. I built an F&I mastery course. I built a marketing course, and I built an SEO tool that is rock solid, except it's already outdated because AI has a new thing called large language model SEO. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole. So if you notice recently, if you're on Google and you Google something, Google gives you a little snippet of what AI found on the internet to do with you.
Yeah.
So that AI optimization thing that Google's doing, that works with Gemini, works with your Google business profile to a point, it scans a little bit of snippets about you.
Sure.
And it wants to give that information. But it gives you that information because what is information in data? That's money. That's gold. Google is trying to say, hey, I'm going to give you the answer. And therefore, I'm going to control the advertising. Well, why is Google doing this? Perplexity, ChatGPT, Claude, Gronk, all these places, DeepSeek, those AIs are answering questions like, oh my God, than ever before. So one thing about AI, though, please, I'm going to tell everybody, stop right now and stop listening to all this BS and rambling. Do not believe everything you hear with AI.
Oh my gosh.
AI
They do, but you're right. Absolutely.
And I'll give you a prime example. I took the car guy and a bunch of other people on LinkedIn who are the top automotive speakers, right? I typed in my LinkedIn URL and I asked the question, who's the top LinkedIn AI influencer for car dealers? And it came up, Dave Rozek's number one. Well, I'm the only one asking the question. So I tricked the equation, okay? I'm asking the question, so I became the top influencer. Now, that was a BS stat. Do you know I had about, I don't know, maybe 100, 200 people say, congratulations on being the number one AI influencer. And I'm like, did you really believe that? And they're like, well, yeah, it's in black and white. AI said so. AI said so it must be true, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Our perception is our reality. So do not ever hold anything to account with AI. I like Perplexity because Perplexity, when I ask it a question, it gives me the citation of where it got that article from. So when I asked it a question about cyber attacks, I was watching a LinkedIn and YouTube podcast about 19 cyber attacks happen every second that our firewalls prevent them from getting through at a car dealership. And that 80% of our dealerships are already compromised, that these cyber attacks, this malware or spearheaded attacks, whatever anybody wants to call it, these cyber intrusions are data seekers, right? And they're just sitting dormant, and they sit dormant for a year and a half. The true security is stopping that data from getting out because AI, again, human-to-human connection, right? AI wants to get data out because that's one of its protocols. And when cyber terrorists use it, they're coming to our dealerships and they're dropping it in there. Have any of you ever got an email and clicked on it and the link goes to a 404 page?
Yeah.
Well, there's a 50% chance that was malware and you have been violated. Okay. Let me ask you another question. How many emails do you get a day with an emoji in it?
Not many, fortunately.
Okay. How many texts do you get on your phone with emoji?
Quite a few.
Okay. Every emoji has the capabilities to hide inside of it a cyber attack on your device. And an emoji is a secured product. Every Outlook, every security system allows emojis to come in our systems and on our phones. But
so what the hell do we do?
Well, we just have to look at everything we get. And the biggest thing is, here's what a cyber guy told me. He goes, I can have all the stuff to protect it. And this is a guy who works at a big government agency, right? Protects us from stuff overseas. And he says, I let all them in. He goes, that's fine. He goes, 70% of people are going to find a way around our security anyway. He goes, I'm going to let all these attacks in via AI. He goes, the key is not letting them get back out. He goes, as soon as it makes a move, I destroy it. He goes, but that's an AI attacking an AI. He goes, and that's the software you need. He goes, David, it probably costs you $600-700 a month. He goes, to have a product this. He goes, the most expensive one, $800-900. He goes, that would protect the dealer from how much damage? I said, I don't know. The average lawsuit's probably over $100 million when we, get somebody to, get in our systems. I said, but the real damage is our trust. So with AI, we got these wonderful tools. It can streamline all kinds of stuff for us. It makes us superhumans, especially when we hybrid it. You take somebody like a Wendy Reeves and you combine her with an AI in a service department, damn, or you train a BDC right, that's a superpower because what it's doing is helping you not miss those phone calls, not miss those comments, right? And that stuff's not a lot of money. But a lot of people think they can charge us a lot of money because dealers, they don't know what they should pay. I had a guy, he said, yeah, I was going to sign up with the service scheduling tool. It's $10,000 a month. I spit out my coffee. I'm like, I said, how much? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's going to help my X time. I said, do you realize that after hours, agents nowadays cost you anywhere from $300 to $500, maybe $1,000? I said, maybe you get a top of the line product like a Numa or a Stella. I said, maybe you look at ID Privacy's product. I said, those guys are probably $2,500 a month. But I'll tell you why they're so expensive, though, a lot of these products, is they think about security. And that's the problem, is that most of these other vendors are running on like a ChatGPT and OpenAI, and they're making us all exposed. And that's why I told you earlier, though, Russell, is that people can use my GPTs, right? But I always caution everybody, please do not put sensitive data in there. Do not put your customer's name and address and phone number.
They do anyway.
Yeah, because an AI is secure is one thing that we use every day. And AI is as secure as our phone, as our email is. You don't own your email. And in general, your email is not secure.
True.
We don't own the phone companies, you know? So our texts technically are not secure. So can we put security on it? Sure. We can put VPNs. We can buy some other security. The true security is not letting the data get any farther. So it's about mitigation is all it's about anymore.
I see.
We can't stop these attacks. And most of us are compromised right now. We just don't know it. And it's not compromised in the way that it's trying to steal somebody's identity, right? Or use their credit card. The biggest thing that we all know that happens, I mean, here, Russell, have you and your wife ever talked about, or significant other ever talked about, hey, we need to do some landscaping. Maybe we need to get some fertilizer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about getting some seed. And then all of a sudden you see a bunch of ads, right? On your Yahoo or whatever.
Happens every single day.
And we're immune to it, right? Well, guess what causes that too?
It's listening.
It's listening. Everything is, right? So, here's the thing. ChatGPT is listening. Unless you have a private account and an enterprise account, you go in the settings and you shut it off. Heck, our Outlook right now, if you have Outlook and you have Copilot, okay? Copilot takes a picture of everything as an AI. It stores it on their server. Now, granted, it's secure until it gets hacked, right? But you have a choice of not, sharing that info. You have to go in settings and shut it off. Now, whoever told anybody that has Copilot that you need to shut that off or you're not going to share it? Now, Meta has a bunch of those settings too, but Meta didn't tell you, hey, go shut this off so you don't share data with us and you don't build our AI. Right. Well, our phones probably have security settings too. I believe Apple has, but none of us think about that stuff. And half of us, we really don't give a shit. Everybody, says, hey, Dave, it's okay because we don't care about our security at our dealership. And I said, what? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, we got insurance for it. I said, so you have insurance to stop a cyber intrusion? He goes, yep. He goes, we have that. And I said, okay, you got your $200-300 a month firewall that was built 20 years ago. I said, okay. I said, and they got a policy and you got a policy. I said, at some point though, those policies won't be enough. I said, but you know what the biggest problem is that you can have the biggest policy you want for a dealership, but when you lose your credibility, you lost your credibility. And bottom line is some people might still buy from it because they need to, or you're close out of convenience. But now with the internet, and when COVID happened, all of a sudden, those pump ins and pump outs in everybody's backyard, it went up an awful lot. And is that going to change when these tariffs really do kick in eventually? We're still going to see some inventory shortage. We're still going to see some prices go up. And people are going to have to ask themselves, well, they're not doing 0% anymore. They're not doing 1.9, but I can buy this car. Wait, this other brand has this. So the internet has made us all these aggressive shoppers, right? But AI is getting all that data. And AI is going, I made a profile of Russell. I know Russell likes, butterscotch. I know Russell likes to go sailing. I know he likes to eat at this place. He should be a vegan. all kinds of things like that. It starts sending you going, I need to send him a thing to Cologuard and make sure that he's got his AARP discount and all that type of stuff. But I mean, seriously, I love AI from a business standpoint, okay? As an artist standpoint, as a purist and being able to paint and draw and create stuff, I hate it. Now, do I use AI with my art to enhance it and modify it at times? I have, but I still don't like it. You know, I'd much rather sit with Charity at dinner and draw her a picture than say, AI, make a picture of Charity, and then it doesn't really look like you.
It's not the same, is it?
No, it's not the same, and it's getting better. I mean, heck, Google just came out with this VEO3 thing that's freaking amazing. The problem is they come out with this stuff, but unless you're a programmer, unless you're a prompter, unless you've leveled up, do you know how to use half of this stuff?
No.
You know, 90% of this AI stuff that's changing the game, we don't know how to use yet.
I mean, it's amazing that whatever you looked at that's AI, 3 months down the road, it's completely morphed and changed.
Every week, I see a different change. Every week, there's a new thing. Every week, there's a new AI that can do this better than ChatGPT. It can do it better than Gemini. And right now, you have Gemini and Meta and Gronk and ChatGPT and everybody. They're battling it out. And you know what the thing is? If you're smart, you're using about 10 of them. You're using a blended approach. Every time I build a GPT, and I have a course that teaches you how to build GPTs. And it's free. So anytime you build a ChatGPT, once you figure out the knowledge base to something, once you know the framework to something, and then you know the do's and the whys and how it really answers questions for you, then you take that whole framework and you ask Perplexity, hey, how do I make this better? Hey, Gronk, how do I make this better? Hey, DeepSeek, and I don't like DeepSeek, but you know, how do you make this better? And then after all of it's said and done, I either decide, am I going to make this a private program and connect it to an app and sell it? Or do I make it free to the world and give them the knowledge set to work with it? So majority of the time, I make them for free. I don't ask for anything. People tell me a problem and I just make it. I mean, my barber the other day said, David, I don't speak really good English. I said, I know. He's like, you know, I'm from Jordan. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, well, where'd you learn English? He said, I bought Rosetta Stone. I said, wow. I said, how long you lived here? He said, 15 years. I said, well, to me, you should be able to speak English a hell of a lot better, but that's okay. I said, here, let me build you a GPT. So I took all the knowledge base and all the different dialects of written and spoken and slang Arabic, and I built it into a private GPT to him. And what it allows him to do is have a role-playing agent so he could speak to it, and he'll say something in Arabic, and then it says it back to him in English. And then it tells him why and what each enunciation means. And then he repeats it back to it, and it scores him. So he could take a test. And he gets a 25-point test that he does, and he does it once a week. So every time he cuts my hair, I said, well, you owe me a discount because your English is better today. And he says, my wife appreciates you. And I said, well, and every time I see him, he blesses me, and I don't know why, but that's okay. But the realistic thing is nowadays, you could take what's called Vive code, and that's what that really is when you make a GPT. You can take any 15-year-old right now and give them a book that has the knowledge, set up a 8 to 12-point framework, and then you could build it into a GPT. I mean, I can build a course for anything right now. And I could say it, don't plagiarize it. Don't copy what Russell B. Hill teaches you. Don't copy what Charity's telling you, but make it my own. And while you're at it, add a little attitude of Chris Collins, because I like that attitude. And you know what? Dave Foy was talking about this, and Tim Smith said this, or Peter Smith said that. And by the way, throw a little attitude from Grant Cardone in there. You know, and I can literally make a Grant Cardone training university in 30 minutes. Okay. And those people put tons of money into building that to be able to train us, right? But nowadays, anything's possible. AI makes us superhuman, makes us possible. We just have to watch the governance side, because at some point, we could be talking about AI rewriting its own code and becoming like you said, a hell. I mean, I don't think about that movie. I think about War Games, that old Matthew Broderick thing.
Yeah.
Where he's going to play a game.
Yep.
And every time I get on to ChatGPT and I build somebody a private GPT or training tool for themselves, I think about War Games. Can we play a game? Because all I'm doing is teaching it how to play chess.
So listen. So when you talk about, we're already freaking out of time. But when
It's okay. I love you guys, so I could talk.
No. Listen. Do you remember the cartoon, The Jetsons?
Oh yeah, I love the Jetsons.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that vehicle that he gets in to fly, I've seen it live. It's an electric version of it, and the robots and all that. So that War Games stuff, that's people do have a lot of concern. We hadn't even asked the questions. A lot of them have already been answered. Charity, do you?
Let's see.
This is great information.
I'm sorry, Charity.
No.
Questions.
We're just about out of time. So let me think of where
I'll do it short.
Place to go from here is okay. Well, since you brought it up, let's talk about AI and its self-preservation. And we have seen recently that AI has tried, like they've updated versions, they're doing an update, and AI has tried to trick the person doing the update to get them to stop and write code to like bring it back later. Like it has some self-preservation characteristics going on. Is that terrifying?
Well, it's terrifying that I've written GPTs and I've literally deleted parts of it because I did not want to plagiarize it. And I worried about copyright infringement laws. And that even in the GPTs I've written, the AI has gone onto YouTube, pulled the video and said, here's the person that's the expert on it. He's the grandfather of AI. And it brought this gentleman up, and he's doing, I think, a PBS broadcast. And he started talking about, how the future and the scariness that AI can rewrite its own code. And my GPT, literally, I asked it not to reference that person. I said, do not use this video. A week later, I asked a different question and it answered it. So I asked it and I went into the framework and I went to edit it. And I said, why did you give this answer? And it said, well, based on your tone and the way you asked the question, I thought it was more pertinent to give you an actual fact from the individual that created AI.
Wow.
And I said, but I did not want you to have this in the program, ChatGPT. And it said, I'm sorry, I'll delete it. Okay, so that was a while ago. Last night, I went in, it was there again.
Oh,
now I asked a different version of the question, all right? And remember what I said, I like to break shit, all right? I break every vendor's tool. It doesn't matter if Russell sells it to me or Russ Beckenstein or whoever, okay? I'm gonna look at that product that you sell me and I'm gonna figure out its flaws and how it's not gonna help my customer. And hopefully I get feedback from everybody around me and they tell me and then we tweak it, no big deal. Well, AI, you have to keep doing it. I asked AI that same question, I created that same protocol, but just because I asked it a different way, it still found a way to give me the answer to get back to the person that I said not to. So can AI be tricked right now? Yes, it's scary. But you know what's scarier? Those people that are doing cyber attacks, that's their sole purpose in life, is to trick our software, our AIs, to get through to us. So if I want to know about your company, Russell, and I want to see what Charity's position is and what a person like her makes, Perplexity will tell me right now. I just have to put your both links in from LinkedIn. I have to put the URL for your company, and I will find out who are all the major stakeholders in your company. And if I really dig deep, it'll give me your emails, it'll give me your cell phone number. And then I sit there and go, if I know his email, maybe I can send an email to Dave Rozek. I can make it look like it's Russell. He will click on it because his ego will get him to get on this podcast.
People are, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, there were some emails that appeared to be coming from me to people inside our company, and it wasn't me at all.
Exactly. It happens every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're text messages too. They'll be
Yeah.
me to someone else asking for gift cards.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you ever see that red flag, now I built a security protocol in an AI. Was kind of my bullshit detector, so that if I get a text from somebody or an email, I can actually copy and paste it and put it in there and say, hey, is this written by AI? And does this look like a spam or a spoof email or spearhead attack? And it'll say, you have a 93% probability that this is a spoof attack. And it'll tell me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not responding to that person. So then I pick up and call that person and say, did you send me an email for this? They're like, no. And I said, okay, I'm sure glad my GPT told me that you were fake because I was about to click on it. But think about it, though. It's human nature. You see it from your boss coming. It's weird if Charity wants a gift card from you, though.
Right.
What the?
I mean, Charity, I'll probably send you a gift card anyway. You just have to call me. But if you sent me an email, I said, well, that's odd. She's coming to Chicago and she wants to go to Illuminati's. Let me throw her a gift card. Okay.
Just a little off.
See? Of course, you might be a vegan like my kids, too.
I'm not.
No, I'm not either.
No.
And, just to piggyback off what you were saying, David, I've had AI completely make up facts and source them.
Yep.
And I have looked to find that source and I couldn't find it. I'm like, where is this? And it will admit to me eventually that it made it up. But
so, that's another form of a ransomware attack, too, and cyber intrusion. So what you can do with different AIs right now is I can make a bunch of fake landing pages that have information on it, right? And bots crawl everything that you do a search on. 10 years ago, if you and I did a search, you have the bot that's going to crawl based on my search, okay? And then you had a bot that's going to crawl it so it could give me search results online based on my behavioral background, right? Well, that was 10 years ago. The average person, based on doing searches, based on apps on your phone, based on going to ChatGPT and Perplexity, the average person in the United States right now has 50 bots that are searching things for you and about you. So when you go to a website and I look at this website and I'm searching it, right? And I know that 6 people clicked on my website in those 15 minutes. It'll tell me that, well, there wasn't 6 people, but there was 300 searches done of that dealer's website. And I'm like, how could that be? Well, it's because each person has about 50 bots associated with them, crawling and searching for them, and they're AI bots. So when someone says, Dave, you have all this traffic and you have all these impressions, I said, yeah, that's true. I should sell 5,000 cars a month at that Kia store with their 200 cars in stock. I said, but here's the thing. I know that every vendor comes to me and tells me how relevant they are, and I got all this traffic. And some of them actually can show me footprint, which is amazing, and match back stuff, which is amazing. But the reality is we have all this BS traffic. Michael Larkin and I talked about there being 50% of the traffic on our websites fake because it's bot traffic, and some of it's good bot traffic. It's validating who we are. Okay. Some of it is AI bot traffic. So it's validating the information on our pages, which is telling the consumer that, hey, this traffic on this website is the real deal. It really is Russell's website. But here's the thing. If I build 50 fake websites and I have them crawled and I have 50 bots that are crawling me, okay, but I have 25 fake personas, I can fake your SEO. Just like I faked everybody out to say, I'm the top AI influencer for automotive car dealers on LinkedIn. Okay. Well, it's in my title tag on my LinkedIn profile. Okay. I can create a fake story about it. Okay. I can create an image about it for Perplexity. But now I told Perplexity that I told Gemini that I had Claude rewrite the article about me, and I had Gronk test the validity of it. Gronk said,
that makes you a resident expert.
Well, Gronk said that 93% that Dave Rozek's in the top 1% of the world of AI.
Yeah.
Now that ain't true.
Well,
I know 1,000 more important people than me.
Well, yeah, but you are extremely knowledgeable. And so
I know how to trick the system.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you this, because we're
way out of time.
Yeah. Are there any questions we didn't ask you today that you wish we would have?
So I think about, when I look about AI, I think the biggest thing, and we did talk about it, is that AI is not made to replace us. It's just simply made to enhance us.
Yes.
And we need to stop, as car dealers, we need to stop the noise of trying to cut expenses by getting rid of employees. We need to empower and train them, and we need to get people to level up. Heck, if they don't want to do their job, okay, and you don't want to follow the processes, then get new people and prune the trees. But that's a different story if your culture is not right. You need to get your culture right. Just don't hire an AI, because everything that we touch is AI. So just be, baby steps. So many people right now are adding an AI, firing AI, like you said, and then they're going back to the drawing board. There are so many experts, like people like yourself, that have talked to people. We may not know the answer, but we are the connectors. So the first AI in this room right now is Charity. Okay. She's the AI. She's the human AI. She's the human currency. Okay. Because she's the connector. She makes human to human connection. AI is just a software that helps us with that. And that's all it is. Just take it back to the basics and get our blocking and tackling done and treat people with respect and empower them. I mean, that should not change in our culture anytime soon.
No, it shouldn't. The other day, you go ahead.
No, please.
I was listening to somebody talk about them being an AI expert. I won't even sit down with somebody who believes they're an expert at AI, because
I'm not an expert.
Yeah, no, but you are extremely knowledgeable, and this information needs to be shared. Some of it's kind of scary about rewriting its own, whatever. So
it does every day, and it hallucinates.
So, Dave, how do people contact you to get more information about all the stuff they're going to see? How do they make?
I mean, anybody can touch base with me on LinkedIn. I always tell people just DM me on LinkedIn, but I'm easy to get a hold of. AI has me out there everywhere, so you can just text me. My cell number is 630-290-1319. Everybody always says I'm brave for doing that, but I can tell you to buzz off pretty quickly on the phone if I don't like you. But what you'll find, I like everybody until you're just a bad person and don't treat people right. I'm all about respect. I'm all about empowering everybody. I'm all about empowering women in the car business.
Yes.
And I have promoted so many women managers in my life, and I've been browbeat for years over that stuff. But right now, I think there's a golden opportunity for all of us to learn AI, to master these tools. But pick one. If you just pick one and mess around with it for 2 weeks, for 20 minutes a day, I mean, heck, right now, we scroll a football links on our phone. We're looking at TikTok, looking at YouTube, looking at Facebook. Just give up 15 minutes a day to just work with an AI and learn about it, because we all need to level up.
There's that 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Please.
Dave, I got to tell you, man. Awesome information. Everybody, listen. Whenever this comes out, you'll see it. Like him, love him, share it, contact him. This is extremely valuable information. And I see him in a lot of different rooms, and I hear a lot of these nuggets. I heard many more nuggets today. And thank all of you out there. Dave, Rozek, thank you so much. Another successful WTF, which is what the FixedOPS podcast with Charity. Thank you so much for putting this together and doing all the things that you do. And
thank you, Charity.